Not, who knows? It's you never know what you're gonna get. You put out a video and you talk and see what happens. We're playing basketball over there. Hey, how's it going? It's Karl, aka Karl Trump Tech. I'm here right now in Torrance, California. I'm in the middle of some train tracks, as you can see. These train tracks are here close by to Torrance High School, where I went to high school, and I used to do a marching band over there. I used to teach. I used to be in a marching band when I was in high school. And Torrance High School is one of those rare schools where the football stadium was not attached to the campus, and basically you have Torrance High School here on this side of the railroad tracks, and you have the stadium here on the other side of the railroad tracks. So when you had to go to rehearsal for band, you had to go from the high school and walk over and cross over the train tracks into the stadium. And I was kind of getting a little nostalgic, so I thought, you know, what better place to do my latest video blog and you know, make it also my most dangerous video blog yet. I'm just kidding. Hopefully there's no trains coming. Usually there aren't a lot of trains coming, so I think I'm good right here. But anyways, what I wanted to talk about today is I had somebody ask me, you know, I've always had my parents, you know, be very supportive of what I do, whether that's marching band or whatever the case may be. And, you know, I want to do drum corps. And I'm trying to explain to them, like, you know, why I should do drum corps and all that stuff. And they don't totally understand, and they want to understand why I want to do this, right? So this video is for that individual and for anybody else who might have trouble convincing their parents to either join marching band, join second semester drumline or Colorguard, or do drum corps, right? So, you know, of course, on one hand, you can look at it as like, this is absolutely a positive activity where you learn so much, you learn things, you learn about values like teamwork and working together, and you know, you learn about responsibility and having dedication, being in an immersive environment where all you do is just focus on this one thing and get as good as you can. I can go on and on and on about the value of doing drum corps or some kind of, you know, activity like marching band or drumline or color guard. On the other hand, right, it's like, why do you want to spend all this money to march drum corps and walk around the sun all day long? And what about school? Like, it takes away from school. Like, how about that? So obviously, you know, there's two different ways to look at it. And rather than just like say, well, this way is right or this way is right, I'm going to try to give you a greater context of what to think about in order for you to be able to effectively communicate to your parents why you want to do drum corps if that is exactly what you want to do. Now, the number one thing you need to keep in mind when you're speaking to your parents about, you know, doing something, any kind of activity, is that you have to believe in it. You have to believe that this is something that you absolutely have to do, right? Because we can go on and on about the benefits, and obviously you can think about all those things, like the benefits and why you should do it and why it's good. I'm sure you won't have any problems thinking about all that. But you have to believe in it. You have to truly believe that this is something you want to do, that this is something that you truly want, okay? And if it is, you're gonna have no problems articulating to them exactly why you need to do this, why this is so important for your life, why it's so important for your own development, how it can be so helpful, you know, when you do other things, you know, if you go on to some kind of career that does not involve marching band, you know, this activity can help anything, right? It can help any career field you want to get into. It can help you in jobs, right? In terms of like when you apply, you say, hey, I did this thing, you know, it shows how dedicated I am and stuff like that. Of course, like that is absolutely helpful as well. Or, you know, you can get into it and find a job or find, you know, some that is related to drum corps or marching band. You can teach, you can, you know, well, I guess mostly teach, but you can also be a performer, right? You can, you know, at the highest levels, you can be hired to be part of some professional group or, you know, some kind of orchestra, stuff like that. So there's so many different things you can do, but it has to be your passion. It has to be something that you totally believe in. It has to be something that is totally you, and you wouldn't be you without it. Right? Now, I've dealt with this kind of thing just in terms of just, you know, when you're teaching high school marching band, you know, your parents are absolutely behind your success, for sure. And they are absolutely, you know, behind your ability to do an activity like marching band or play in sports or do cheerleading, whatever you want to do, right? They're the ones that has to support you. They're the ones that has to be like, cool, yeah, let's do it. They're the ones that basically can can give you the support you need, not just emotionally or mentally, but financially, right? Doing these activities can cost a lot of money, and you definitely need their support in order to be successful in joining those types of activities. Same thing with drum corps, right? Drum corps is absolutely expensive. I mean, we're talking about in the thousands of dollars you have to spend in order to do drum corps and be able to pay the tour fees and things like that. So you definitely need the support of somebody, right? And you might as well come from your parents. Now, obviously it's gonna take a lot of time and commitment. It's gonna take away from, you spending time from working on getting your college degree. Because, I know for a lot of people, even me, myself included, when I marched drum corps, I took a little bit longer to graduate from college because I spent so much time, doing the marching band thing, doing the music thing, that it kind of, took away from my studies and took away from, me really fully immersing myself in that. So I graduated a little bit later. But, what's the big deal, right? I still got my degree anyway. But, that's a lot of the parents' concern, is just like, how do I, justify you doing this, for the sake of school? You gotta tell them, I'm not sacrificing school. I'm not trying to, circumvent that, or not focus on that or anything like that. But look at it as drum corps is something that is very, very, very temporary. Obviously, you can only march until you're 21 years old or 22 if it's like indoor WGI type stuff. And then that's it, right? You can't do it anymore. You can do senior course or whatever and stuff like that. But for the most part, there's this small window for you to be able to do this competitive, DCI or WGI type activity. And then that's it, right? The rest of your life to do everything else. And you can go on with the rest of your life with the lessons you've learned from these, outside independent activities or not. Okay, and it's like, is it going to help you to have that experience or not? I would tend to skew in the favor of yes, absolutely, it does help you. And like I said, I can go on and on and on about the benefits, but you just, like I said, number one, you have to believe that that's the case, and you have to, when you speak to your parents, you have to let them know that this is absolutely imperative because it's so important to my overall development. Okay, so here's another thing to think about, right? It's like, there's so much focus, and I don't know how you would tell your parents this, but there's just so much focus on academics and so much focus on going to school and things like that, getting your degree and, all that good stuff, right? Which is all good, okay? But, when there's just so much focus and emphasis on that, and it's like your parents are kind of forcing that on you, right? Whether you believe in that or not, whether you believe that this is something that is absolutely imperative and important, because, in my opinion, it is, but, there are other people who have forged their own paths without doing school, without focusing on school. And now we're talking about entrepreneurial types, or, some people are just like, who are passionate about doing something like, mountain climbing or something like that, and that's all they want to do, right? And it's like, this is how they fulfill their purpose in life. Of course, in some ways, right, it's like not practical, because if you go to school, you get a degree, you get a job, you have these finances that can take care of you for the rest of your life. Of course, that is absolutely important. But on the other hand, what is truly important, right? Is it important that you live a life that is just kind of like do what everybody else is doing and just kind of like, do the socially conditioned narrative of go to school, get a job, and then all that stuff, retire, die? Or do you want to do something that you're really passionate about? Do something that you really love? Do something that is just like gonna absolutely give you so much in your life and so much fulfillment. Maybe it's something like, going away and dedicating your life to the service of the poor, something like that. Something bigger than yourself, right? Yes, it can be impractical, like how are you gonna live? How are you gonna, pay the bills? How are you gonna do all that stuff? Those are all the things that you have to weigh, but you have to think about it like, like what is school? What is it for? Like, do you really believe in that kind of thing? Or do you believe in something higher, something bigger, something that you're truly passionate about? That's why it goes back to my number one reason for, not number one reason, but number one thing that you gotta tell your parents is that you believe in this thing so much that, basically, they can't deny you, right? And even if they deny you and they say, okay, well, we're not gonna support you financially, hey, if this is something that you really want to do, you'll find a way, you'll figure it out, you'll get the funds, you'll fundraise, you'll work, you'll do whatever it takes to get the stuff done, to make sure that you do what you want to do, no matter what the cost, no matter what you have to do. So, you know, that's the number one thing, right? It's like, you know, if you can't convince your parents, you know, you can't convince them to at least support you financially, then you'll find a way, right? And what I always tell my kids is that, you know, even if you can't convince your parents, no, you know, number one, like they have power, right? You know, they gave you life, they give you a roof over your head, they take care of you. They do have absolutely, you know, not control, but they have the authority and the say-so to say, yo, like, I don't want you to do this. And then what they say goes. Like, you can't do anything about that. You know, they rule, that's it, okay? But look at it another way, all right? So once you grow up and once you get older and you get out of that household, in some ways you can do whatever you want, right? It's like, you know, your parents can tell you one thing, but at the end of the day, once you grow up, you're an adult. You can do whatever the heck you want, right? So, you know, are you living your life for yourself, or are you living it for somebody else? And I truly believe that when you live this life, you reach a point where you realize that you're not living your life for anybody else. You're living it for yourself and your own fulfillment. We only get one chance at this, guys. We only get one shot at life. Do you want to live your life doing something that you're not truly passionate for? You don't totally believe in it, or you want to do something that absolutely gives you so much, you know, back, or you know, or if something that you want to give so much. You know, those are the kind of things that you want to explore and try, because like I said, you only get one shot at this. You only have one life, so make sure you make the most of it, all right? So that's pretty much all I wanted to say, guys. Hopefully this has been helpful to you, and hopefully gives you a bigger context of how to speak to your parents, you know, in terms of just getting them to support you and what you want to do, no matter what it is, whether it's drum corps or, you know, climbing mountains, or, you know, going away and live a life of service to serve the poor, whatever it is, right? You know, hopefully this helps you to kind of like, you know, formulate some ideas in your head and how to get your head straight to be able to be like, yo, mom and dad, check it out. This is what I want to do. So hopefully this will help you do just that. So if you guys like this video, please make sure you like this video, hit the like button. If you have any questions or comments, please hit the comments section and leave your comments below. If there's a topic you want me to talk about next time, make sure you leave that as well in the comments. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what the heck are you waiting for? Make sure you subscribe. And if you feel like this video can help somebody else, a friend or somebody you love, make sure you share this video with them as well. I always appreciate it. I appreciate you guys watching. And as always, until next time, take care.